So I'm pretty sure it's been about 4 or 5-ish years that I've been working at this horrible and horrendous picnic table, and I finally just decided to stop spending all my money on cameras and other dumb gear and spend it on my desk, my workstation that I sit at for hours and hours editing photos and videos. Before I get into just my new desk setup and what's on my desk, I wanted to talk about a few issues and problems I had with my picnic table that I was working at. One, it wasn't height adjustable, and it was a little taller than just like an average desk and that my chair height would really go to. So it gave me just a lot of ergonomic issues. My wrists were kind of just like up like this, which I just didn't really like that much. It wasn't that bad. It was, it was at regular height, but you get the point. It was pretty bad. It wasn't height adjustable at all. There was no lowering or heightening to it that I could do. It was also just like uneven at times, so there was just like bends and flexes in the plastic that was the desk. It also just had a lot of width issues. It took up a lot of space between just like the main entryway of my room slash workspace, so it just made it not super difficult to get through, but just narrowed that space I had to just kind of walk through and just live kind of comfortably in my room. So upgrading and finding this desk with it being a lot smaller fixed a lot of those main issues, pretty much all of them, and allows me to just have a more free, open space to be able to do what I want to do. Also, having just like too much surface space, as we all know, just calls for more junk just to be able to lay around. So I would always just have mounds and mounds of just camera gear and just other junks, cups, and just anything you can think of was just on that desk, in that area, just making the desk more and more junky. So being able to minimalize and have less space enforces me to just be tidier, be cleaner, and just have a more fit and clean workspace. All right, moment of truth. Yes. So a few things that I like about this desk is that it just has a new color to it, and this is a more mahogany color or style, the surfaces at least. It's not like a certain brand or anything, at least I don't know. It just kind of looked like a generic kind of desk. It has no holes in it, so if I wanted to add like holes for ports, that's something I would have to like do myself, but I don't really want to do that and mess up the desk since this is my first purchase. Until I get more like building skills, I won't really attempt something like that. But there was like a lighter blonde texture that I wanted, but it was not available. So I had to just pick that one up, and it fit my price point really well, which was about $370 for the entire desk setup. It's much smaller. It's a 40 by 60, so I just have like a lot more room on both sides of the desk. The depth is really nice because I can push the desk right up against my wall, but I do have a little Manfrotto arm clamp on the desk to allow me to mount my camera up there if I want to do any talking head videos for my YouTube channel. And then most importantly, it's height adjustable, and I absolutely love this because the desk sits a little lower than the picnic table did, which is very nice. So that fixes my kind of sitting ergonomic issue. And then when I want to be able to stand up and just work standing, or even just raise the desk up to film YouTube stuff at like eye level, or just like at a certain height level with this new kind of background I have set up here, I can do that now, and I love it. I love it so much. When I'm filming top-down videos, I have a nice texture background for whatever it is I'm shooting, and then I also added this beautiful, nice black cutting mat on the desk so that I can have additional space to either work on things I'm fixing, whether that's with one of my older cameras or screwing things apart with camera cages, and be able to protect my desk from scratches. So let's talk about what's actually on my desk now, and I improved a lot more just to give me a more cozy, welcoming, warm, productive, and inspiring work vibe. Beforehand, just the back wall was just blank. I really had just like one thing up there, but I decided to add a few more posters, pictures, and just props that I had sitting around in my office at work, brought those home, stuck those on the wall, just to give me something more visual to be able to look at while I'm creating, and then also just have an additional background, like I said before, for filming YouTube videos. So I really wanted to add some desk lamps, so I just went to my local Best Buy and found really whatever I could, some nice hue light so that I can change the color temperature of the light if I want to for any specific reason, and added 2 of those onto the desk so that I can just have some nice ambience right there on the desk, opposed to the top-down kind of ugly lighting view that I know a lot of people really work with a lot. I added this nice long wool felt desk pad on the desk, and this is really great because it just protects my desk from any scratches from hard drives, cameras, my laptop, mouse, from getting all scratched up and worn down. And then it just adds like another nice texture to the desk. It makes it more comfortable to work at, and it protects the desk against any spills or accidents that can occur. So the mouse and keyboard that I use are both by Logitech. I love this mouse so much, and I've used Logitech mouses for quite some time now, but the MX3 is my favorite because you can customize a lot more buttons on it than you could with the previous ones, and that gives me just the ability when I'm working in timelines such as Premiere, DaVinci, or Final Cut to be able to set those buttons to be able to zoom in and out, scroll left and right, up and down on my timeline, and I absolutely love that. The keyboard is nice because it's just bigger, it's longer, it has a number pad, which is great when I'm doing a lot of just video edits and photo edits. I actually use that number pad a lot, and just having a lot more room on the keyboard is just great ergonomically for me, just so that my hands aren't so cramped up when I'm editing just directly on the laptop keyboard. I have a lot more space, my hands just feels more comfortable, and you can also customize keys on that keyboard as well, which is really nice. I personally have not used that function yet, but I know it's there if I ever want to do it, to just make a few shortcuts for my editing process and make that go a lot faster. So the monitor on my desk is actually one of my favorite things that is on this desk. It is not the standard Apple display or anything that a lot of people use out there, or something that you can find at a Best Buy. I actually bought this at my local computer store, which is called Micro Center. I'm not sure if you have one in your state or wherever you're watching from, but this is the Asus ProArt display, and this actually isn't even like the 4K one. It's a 1080p one, and it's absolutely great. The color accuracy on this monitor is freaking phenomenal, and I love just doing all of my color grading, all my color correction, if I'm editing videos or photos on this monitor. It's absolutely amazing. I only paid $300 for this monitor. It's height adjustable. You can change the display from vertical to horizontal, and it's amazing. It does everything you really want it to do. Color accuracy and brightness on it is brilliant. I highly, highly recommend going with an Asus monitor like this, whether it's 4K or 1080p. So when it comes to all the small trinkets and things on my desk, I'm trying hard nowadays to really keep it as clean as possible and only keep necessary things on there. So if a camera is on the desk, it's because I intend to use that camera for a video or just some type of photo shoot, whether I'm doing street photography or something. I have an intent to use that camera, so I keep it in my view to remind me to use that camera, and then remove it at some point just so I'm not taking up all that extra desk space. Right below my monitor, I have a nice small storage space that I can keep things such as extra small cords that I can keep wrapped up nice and tidy, some SSDs from Samsung, and then as well as just SD cards and other little tiny trinkets that I constantly use on my camera or audio tools that I need. And directly next to that is my 20 terabyte G-RAID hard drive. That's what I use to back up all of my footage, just so I can make sure everything is nice and safe. I don't ever really edit off of it. I use it to store, and then I turn it off and completely leave it alone. I also have some glass cleaner on my desk that I use not only for my computer screen, but for any lenses or just glass things I have that I use for my cameras at all times. Bought it off of Amazon. Everything that I'm talking about in this video will be linked down in the description below. So yeah, check that out. It's extremely useful, and it comes with a nice little cloth. And then lastly, on the side of the desk, another thing I bought off of Amazon was just a headphone holder that I attached with this adhesive tape, double-sided, and it just holds my headphones, as well as is sort of a USB charging station. So if I want to plug up either batteries or recharge my mouse or keyboard, I can plug it up directly to that headphone holder, stand, monitor, whatever you call it, the little headphone hook, so that I don't have to use up the ports on my MacBook. And again, since my desk is my kind of main station for filming my talking head videos, I do have my mic stand and my camera stand that I mentioned before clamped onto the desk, so I can just swing those in and out of the way when I want to record a talking head video. So that is my desk setup. I absolutely love it. It keeps me productive, it keeps me inspired, and it keeps me just wanting to sit down and create, or now stand up and be able to just create. I feel more comfortable at my desk. I have this new desire to want to be able to sit at my desk and just work in general, which I think is very nice. So I implore you, if you are feeling like a little bit of a creative rut, or just wanting a more comfortable workspace at your home or in your room, if you're in an apartment or whatever, revamp your desk space, invest in a good desk and a good desk setup, and use that as your studio to motivate you to be able to create the things you love. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate if you hit that like button, because it helps this channel out a lot. And again, links to everything I mentioned in this video will be down in the description below. They are affiliate links, which cost no more extra to you. They just help me get a tiny little kickback so I can afford at least one roll of film for the next video. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.